I'm Dee Perry. Welcome to a special presentation of the 2008 Anisfield-Wolf Book Awards. Named after poet and philanthropist Edith Anisfield-Wolf, this National Literary Prize was created in Cleveland, Ohio, nearly 75 years ago. Each year, awards are given to writers of fiction and nonfiction who take on issues of race and who celebrate cultural diversity. Over the years, many outstanding writers have been selected for the prize, including Toni Morrison, Langston Hughes, and Zora Neale Hurston. Because of the importance of its mission and focus, the Anisfield-Wolf Book Awards have also attracted exceptionally strong juries. For the past several years, Henry Louis Gates Jr. has served as jury chair. The program you're about to see was recorded at the Bolton Theater of the Cleveland Playhouse, where the ceremony took place before a live audience on Thursday, September 11th, 2008. Thank you for watching and enjoy the program.
Funding for the production of the Anisfield-Wolf Book Awards program is provided by the Cleveland Foundation, supporting good causes and big ideas that enhance the lives of people in Greater Cleveland.
I want to thank the Anisfield-Wolf Book Awards for this Lifetime Achievement Award. As I said to Professor Gates when he phoned me, and I'm not even dead yet.
It's been described as a thriller, but nothing thrilling actually happens.
This is how it all starts, with your mother calling you into the bathroom. You will remember what you were doing at that precise moment for the rest of your life.
I want to share with you, with all Americans, with anyone who can read and write and who hears me, that bigotry is not only a white man's disease, it's a universal disease. And probably the only way to get rid of it is to continuously examine oneself.
Good evening. And welcome, friends, to the 73rd Annual Anisfield-Wolf Book Awards ceremony. When we were looking at potential dates for this year's ceremony, we were struck by the poignancy and the irony of being together for this event on September 11th, a date which has come to symbolize irrational prejudice and hate and the victimization of totally innocent human beings. When Cleveland poet and philanthropist Edith Anisfield-Wolf created this award back in 1935, she established this award to encourage others to read, to contemplate, and to debate the important issues of what we might now refer to in shorthand as diversity. Edith Anisfield-Wolf believed that through familiarity and open, challenging, albeit sometimes disturbing, dialogue, future generations would gain a better understanding and appreciation of one another. Very regrettably, our dear friend and jury chair, Skip Gates, is not able to be with us tonight as he's recovering from surgery, which just occurred this week. Rest assured, he's doing fine. We heard from him over the phone today, and he's looking forward to being back here with you next year. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now my great pleasure to turn the podium over to our MC, Rita Dove.
It is my distinct honor tonight to be asked to introduce these amazing writers. I would like to start with the first of the two awards that we are going to be giving tonight for fiction. In The Reluctant Fundamentalist, his delicately constructed novel, Mohsin Hamid artfully presents us with a much more multifaceted perspective on the making of one such purported Islamist. And to do so, he employs a striking literary form. Essentially, the entire book is a dialogue in the form of a monologue, in which a Pakistani man, Changez, returning to his native Lahore after grand successes in the world of American higher education and of global business, tells the story of his life over tea and dinner to an American whose own motives for being in Lahore at this particular time and for sitting there with Changez remain unclear in a way that at once heightens tension and leaves the readers to their own shifting speculations. I am honored to present the Anisfield-Wolf Book Award for Fiction to Mohsin Hamid for The Reluctant Fundamentalist.
In 2001, I was literally, in terms of where I'd lived my life, half Pakistani and half American. And even though I don't have an American passport, there's no doubting that a great deal of me is American, and I have enormous affection for America. And so to be recognized in this way, in this setting, really feels to me like coming home. So thank you for that. It's been described as a thriller, but nothing thrilling actually happens. And the reason why it can make an audience afraid is because the novel works on the assumption that we're already afraid. You know, when we think of an American guy with a crew cut in a bazaar in Lahore talking to a Pakistani Muslim guy with a beard, what we feel is fear. Here's how it begins. "Excuse me, sir, but may I be of assistance? Ah, I see I have alarmed you. Do not be frightened by my beard. I am a lover of America. I noticed that you were looking for something. More than looking, in fact, you seem to be on a mission. And since I am both a native of this city and a speaker of your language, I thought I might offer you my services." How did I know you were American? No, not by the color of your skin. We have a range of complexions in this country, and yours occurs often among the people of our northwest frontier. Nor was it your dress that gave you away. A European tourist could as easily have purchased in Des Moines your suit with its single vent and your button-down shirt. True, your hair, short cropped, and your expansive chest, the chest, I would say, of a man who bench presses regularly and maxes out well above 225, are typical of a certain type of American. But then again, sportsmen and soldiers of all nationalities tend to look alike. Instead, it was your bearing that allowed me to identify you, and I do not mean that as an insult, for I see your face as hardened, but merely as an observation. Come, tell me, what were you looking for? You prefer that seat, with your back so close to the wall? Very well, although you will benefit less from the intermittent breeze which, when it does blow, makes these warm afternoons more pleasant. And will you not remove your jacket? So formal. Now that is not typical of Americans, at least not in my experience. And my experience is substantial. Thank you very much.
What can be said about the brief, wondrous life of Oscar Wilde, or about its author, Junot Diaz, that hasn't been said already? The book, with its magnificent mix of Spanish and English, ghetto and nerd, history and fantasy, high culture and low culture, Tolkien and everything else, seems to drive critics to their own adjectival feats. And to quote just a few, weirdly wonderful, nerdy, wordy flair, deliciously casual and vibrant, relentless and capacious, panoramic and yet achingly personal. The brief, wondrous life of Oscar Wilde is the story of the De Leon family, who live under the Fuku, the curse cast upon them by their brutalizing entanglement 3 generations ago with the Dominican dictator Rafael Trujillo. One of the mandates of the Anisfield-Wolf Book Awards is to recognize outstanding works of literature that foster appreciation of the rich diversity of human cultures. Few novels have done that in recent memory as stunningly or audaciously as The Brief, Wondrous Life of Oscar Wilde. It is a privilege to present Junot Diaz with the Anisfield-Wolf Book Award for Fiction.
These awards, of course, really are about the fact that there is this great body of readers who love literature and are moved by it and support it and champion it and share it. And in the end, I think that us being up here is just kind of a proxy for the worth of y'all who are readers. So I'm just going to read this tiny piece called Wildwood. It's never the changes we want that change everything. This is how it all starts, with your mother calling you into the bathroom. You will remember what you were doing at that precise moment for the rest of your life. You were reading Watership Down, and the rabbits were making the dash for the boat, and you did not want to stop reading. Your mother was standing in front of the medicine cabinet mirror, naked from the waist up, her bra slung around her like a sail, the scar on her back as vast and inconsolable as a sea. You want to return to your book, to pretend that you had not heard her, but it is too late. Her eyes meet yours, the same big smoky eyes that you will have in the future. Ven acá, she commands. She is frowning at something on one of her breasts. For the record, your mother's breasts are immensities, one of the wonders of the world. The only ones that you've seen that are bigger are in nudie magazines and on really fat ladies. Your father, your mother likes to brag, could never get enough of these. But given the fact that he ran off on her, it seemed in the end he could. She takes your right hand and guides you. Your mother is rough in all things, but this time she is gentle. You did not think her capable of it. Do you feel that? She asks you. At first, all you feel is the heat of her and the density of that tissue, like a bread that has never stopped rising. She kneads your fingers into her. You're as close as the two of you have ever been, and her breath is what you will remember. And then suddenly, without warning, you do feel something, a knot just beneath your mother's skin, tight and secretive as a plot. And at that moment, for reasons you will never quite understand, you are overcome by the feeling, the premonition, that something in your life is about to change. You become lightheaded, and you can feel a throbbing in your blood, a beat, a rhythm, a drum. Bright lights zoom through you like photon torpedoes, like comets. You do not know how or why you know this thing, but that you know it cannot be doubted. It is exhilarating. For as long as you have been alive, you have had bruja ways. Even your mother will begrudge you that much. Hija de Liborio, she called you after you pictured Diaz's winning lottery number for her. And you assumed that Liborio was a relative. That was before you started visiting Santo Domingo, before you learned about the great power of God. I feel it, you say too loudly. Lo siento. And like that, everything changes. Before the winter is out, the doctors remove the breast that you were needing, along with the axillary lymph nodes. Because of the operation, your mother will have trouble lifting her arm over her head for the rest of her life. Her hair begins to fall out because of the therapy, and one day she pulls what remains out and puts it inside of a plastic bag. You change too. Not right away, but it happens. And it is in that bathroom where it all begins, where you begin. That's all. Thank you.
William Melvin Kelly began writing and published his most celebrated works at the cusp and in the midst of the Black arts